Welcome to another episode on the Global CEO Magazine TV, where we talk with industry professionals to get their insights on different aspects of global business and the local market as well. Right, so today, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we have a distinguished guest joining us on this Global CEO Magazine TV, and she's Ms. Saroja Gunatilleke. Welcome to the show, Ms. Saroja. Now,
Thank you.
To give a brief introduction about our guest today, now she's a managing director and the actuary at G Actuarial Services and fellow of the UK Institute of Actuary that was awarded in 2012. And also she has worked in the insurance field and also in regulatory institutes as well. And now she has established the G Actuarial Consultancy Services, doing consultancies, trainings in Sri Lanka and in overseas as well. Welcome to the show, Ms. Saroja. Now, I would like to start our conversation with a question about your journey so far. Now, you have experience spanning multiple years, and at the same time, this is a field that not most Sri Lankans are aware of. At the same time, how you pursued this path?
Yes, so I hadn't heard about it when I was in school. I hadn't heard about it. Even now, not a lot of people know about this profession. So I just knew when I was in school, I just loved maths, but I didn't know where that would lead. So although I could have attended a government university after school, the circumstances at that time was so that I went to the UK to study, and it was there that one of my friends told me about actuarial science, and that it requires a mathematical background, so that it might be suitable for me as well. That's how I found out about it. And as you rightly said, this is a field that not a lot of people get into. There's professional exams that you need to also sit through to qualify as an actuary. So when I qualified as a fellow of the UK Institute and Faculty of Actuaries in 2012, I was the only local. I was only Sri Lankan working in the Sri Lankan insurance industry at that time. So a few more have qualified after that, but it is a rare field, yes.
So your firm, it provides a wide range of services, including risk management services. So how do you add value to a company through risk management, and what are the specific services that you provide in terms of risk management?
So my company provides the actuarial and risk management services. So traditionally what actuaries do is they work with insurance companies. So I do those sort of traditional roles as well, like calculating premium rates for life insurance companies, as well as also reviewing the policy liability calculations that insurance companies come up with. I do all of that as well, but I do risk management services also. So basically I together with the client's team, we try to see how the company's risk management processes can be improved, or if the company doesn't have any sort of processes in place, then from scratch we come up with a process for the company. Also, similarly, we do business continuity planning, and also any sort of analysis that can help the company's operation. That kind of project also we take on. So that is not just for insurance companies, but for any company. Yes.
Now, you've worked across 5 countries. So when it comes to working with international clients, one of the most important things is to ensure that your work is compliant with the regulations of that country. How do you make sure that your work always meet the regulatory regulations of that particular country?
So for any of the projects that we take on, we tend to work with the client's team to come up with a solution. I feel that works better because then it's easier to see whether that solution is suitable for the company and the company can actually practically apply it. So that same logic applies when I do work with overseas markets as well. So I work with the client's team. So I ensure that they provide me with the market specific and regulatory information that's necessary for me to carry out that particular project. And there are certain checks that we can do where we can apply to see whether the solution has met those market and regulatory requirements as well.
Now, not only you provide services for different countries, but you provide training programs as well for different countries across the world. So how do you tailor these sessions to meet the diverse needs of these people? And at the same time, what key skills do you emphasize during these training sessions?
So when I started off, I had only two standard programs. One for life insurance and one for non-life or general insurance. Right. So, but that program has evolved a lot over the years because sometimes maybe local or overseas client would tell me that they want this particular area covered as well, and also there's been regulatory changes coming through. So accordingly, certain material has changed. Also, I've also catered to various target markets. So anyway, my programs are not really for students, they are for professionals. And professionals as in non-actuaries, so finance, investment, IT, insurance professionals. So I have catered the program to suit different levels. So whether it's entry level staff or middle management, senior management, right up to CEO, director level. So that customization also has happened, and I'm covering more areas now. I have risk management programs also.
Now, you did mention about the risk management. Now, risk management is essential for any company. Now, as you correctly mentioned, not only insurance companies, but some other companies have also taken your services when it comes to risk management. So, if a company is in need of risk management, your help of the SG Actuarial Consultancy, what's the approach you take? If you could provide us a brief overview of that.
Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, we work with the team, to come up with this solution. So risk management is essential for any company, right? Whatever the sector, whatever the size of the company. Not enough companies I feel are doing risk management in Sri Lanka, but everybody should be doing something to manage the risk. So what I do is I work with the client's team to come up with a solution, because sometimes when a consultant gives a full solution, companies find it difficult to practically apply it as well, and then internally companies have more information. So I tend to work with the client's team to come up with a solution. Maybe it's for like risk management or extended business continuity planning as well, because the core sort of objective of my company is also to sort of bridge the gap between actuaries and non-actuaries. So making sure that other professions understand what we are doing, as well as sort of get their support to give a sort of total solution for the company. And that approach seems to be working, because we've got some great reviews on feedback. Yes.
Now, there's so much talk about the involvement of technology, people talking about artificial intelligence, people talking about data analytics. So when it comes to these technologies, how have insurance companies actually adopted these processes? And at the same time, if a company approaches the SG Actuarial Services, So how do you assist these companies in terms of integrating technology into their day-to-day activities?
So yes, a lot of changes have happened in say even in the insurance sector, because there's been a lot of changes in the market and a lot of regulatory changes coming through actually worldwide. So because of those changes, like risk-based capital, we call it RBC or IFRS 17, there are certain requirements for the companies, how they store data, how they should be checking data, and also how they should be doing the financial projections, the modeling part of things. So the advanced technology helps with that, helps us achieve those requirements and meet those regulatory requirements. So what we do, what SG Actuarial does is we can help companies see whether those requirements are met, and also we do checks on the final solution to see whether it's reasonable and accurate as well.
Now, you have held so many high-level positions in certain insurance companies and regulatory bodies as well. So tell us about what you see in the future for Sri Lanka. What's in store for the future when it comes to these actuarial services in Sri Lanka?
There have been a lot of regulatory changes happening, which makes the actuary's role broader. So when we started our careers, the requirements for actuary was relatively smaller, but over time, with regulatory changes coming through with RBC, now IFRS 17, in the insurance sector, there's a lot more work to be done by actuaries. So more companies are employing in-house actuaries and actuarial teams, and also basically we use a lot of actuarial consultants also in Sri Lanka because of the limited resources that's there. So that's going to keep on increasing over time. And at the moment, because there's only a limited number of actuaries in Sri Lanka, we are all in the insurance sector. But overseas, that's not the case. We are in the banking sector, in any sector really. Somebody was saying in aviation companies, so doing risk management. So there'll be a lot of opportunity in the future for actuarial consultancy, as well as actuaries working in various companies as well.
Now, lastly, as someone who has been in this industry for a considerable time period, what advice would you give to someone who's keen to make an impact on these actuarial services in Sri Lanka?
So the thing in Sri Lanka is that a lot of people are scared to start. They think it's very complicated, that it's not possible to qualify as an actuary. So my advice to them would be, if you really like maths, if you really love maths, then this could definitely be a career path for you. So you should think about it, research more, start the exams, and also keep going, because exams are quite tough, of course, but if you put in that effort for a few years, afterwards it could be a really rewarding career for you.
Right, so that marks the end of our conversation with Ms. Saroja Gunatilleke, who's the Managing Director and Actuary at SG Actuarial Consultancy's Services. And well, it's been a wonderful session, and thank you for joining with us, and thank you for giving us so much information about this rather unknown field in Sri Lanka. And I hope that people will see this and will take up these actuarial services, and to consider as their future prospects as well. Right, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of our session. Thank you, and hope to see you again with another inspirational character.